Hey guys, I am back after I don't even know how long it's been since I posted an actual hair video, but we're gonna get right back into the swing of things. As many of you guys already know, I have since retired actually styling hair, but that doesn't mean I can't help you out with hair care and basically teaching you all the information I know to make sure you guys have the best hair possible. In this video, I want to talk about some of our summer hair care. Can we talk about summer hair care for a minute? Because I feel like every year I always hear the same thing. Oh, my hair is too dry, it's too frizzy, my ends keep breaking, my hair never grows, blah, 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 blah. But I say the truth is it's not really the summer that's affecting our hair, it's our summer habits. Today, I'm going to give you a few summer habits and routines that can get you better hair all season long. So for starters, moisture is not an option. I know. A lot of us have protective styles during the summer, so it's really hard to properly moisturize the hair. But one of the key things is moisture. During the summer, that means increased sun exposure, more heat, more sweat, and if you're anything like me, you're gonna be in the pool or in the ocean, which means chlorine and salt water are gonna be dousing your hair. All of these components actually contribute to moisture being drawn out of the hair. If your hair feels dry, don't automatically reach for any heavy oils. The best thing that you can do is moisture first, and moisture always comes from water. A good moisturizing routine will always start with water. Even if you have braids, twists, extensions, get that hair wet and don't be afraid. As you know, oil is a sealant. So if you're putting oil on already dried hair, not only are you encapsulating that dryness into each strand, but you're also blocking any extra moisture from coming in. So if you know you keep your braids in all summer long, it's probably best that we incorporate a better healthy hair routine and practice healthy hair hygiene. And that's a perfect segue into getting to washing your hair. More so, washing the scalp. So our hair gets a lot of its nutrients from the scalp. The skin is a living organism, whereas your hair is not. Believe it or not, all hair is dead hair. I know, it sounds crazy because you think dead hair means like damaged, dried, breaking, but that can all lead to all of our hair problems, but we don't really realize that we have to keep that scalp healthy first. A lot of us have protective styles during the summer. Like I said before, braids, twists, sew-ins, weaves, whatever. And a lot of us are scared to mess up that style. But what if I told you frizz is normal? Get this, I've had this in for about a month and a half now, and I've taken down the front, re-braided it, done all that good stuff, but I've been in the ocean, I've been in the pools, so I have a lot of buildup in my hair that has to be taken out. And I'm not gonna sit there and undo my braids to wash my hair to just put them back in. No, you can just wash your hair with your style in. Now, a lot of us who aren't well versed in hair care or know how to do our own hair, it's always best to seek a professional. But in this economy, it's kind of hard to pay the professional prices while still looking like you're salon ready. I know a lot of people are afraid to use just shampoo because of maybe everything that was said in the past, how shampoo strips, it's drying, it makes your hair worse, but that's not the case. The same way that you wash your face every day, and if you don't, you should, or if you shower every day, the whole idea is to get all the bacteria, all the smelly stuff, all the germs off of you. It's the same thing for the hair on your head and your scalp. You want to get a shampoo and you're going to focus on the scalp just to clarify anything that's sitting on there. Let me tell you, when I start sweating, I get itchy and it's not a good feeling. So please, 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 even though you have a protective style, your hair still needs attention, and it also needs to be taken care of properly. Now, let's talk about some of our loose naturals, or some of the styles that we might put in our hair and think because it's a protective style, our hair is protected from everything. That's not necessarily true, right? So when we get braids or twists, our hair is woven into each braid or twist into one strand. So maybe not the entire length of the hair is exposed, but you still have to protect your ends. And I know I'm preaching to the choir here, a lot of you guys already know, but look at this. I have my hair put up and it's been put up all day. I'll take it down after the video, but that goes to show we have to protect our ends. I talk about hair care. I like to let people think of their hair as different stages of life. So your roots are like the babies, where they're good. They don't really need a whole lot, but they still need a lot of care because your scalp is right there. So you still want to coddle it and take care of it. So oiling the scalp, don't overdo the oils. It's very easy to put the oils, not think about it, go in the sun, the oil fries the scalp, and now potentially you have a sunburn. That's not fun, but that's a topic for another day. Next, we have the mid shafts, or the lengths of the hair. That's anything from, I say, about 1 inch to 1.5 inches away from the ends. Now that part is like the young adult, where you can really leave it alone, give it, you know, deep conditioning every so often, a clarifier as needed. But the mid shafts don't need that much. What does need attention are the ends. And I tell everybody, think of your ends as your geriatrics, or your old people. Old people, when you get to a certain point, you need to be a little bit more gentle. You need to take a little bit more time and really pay attention, because, you know, a slip and fall or a broken hip, or God knows anything, I don't have wood, anything that has an adverse effect, what's done to the ends, it's over with. There's no coming back. That's why trims are the best thing to grow your hair. I know it's counterintuitive, but that's another topic for another video. We want to protect our ends, and in a protective style, our ends are tucked away, so we're not having to detangle it as much. We're not having to do too much manipulation, so it doesn't get a chance to break off. But what happens when it's time to take out that protective style? A lot of us know when we have our braids, you cut the ends and you try not to cut too close to where your hair is, so you'll cut way down here, and then you'll start unraveling. A lot of us will take a rat tail comb, or just a comb in general, and try and go like this, but that's causing the breakage. That's why when you take your braids out, even though it's grown so much because you have all this new growth, all that's gonna be broken off on the ends, because 1, you're not taking it out properly. And then 2, you kept the style in too long, so the ends are dehydrated. And when it's dry, it's gonna break off even more. And some of us actually have what I call Velcro hair, where the ends, for whatever reason, just like to stick together. So when it comes time to pull it apart, you're pulling apart something that doesn't want to pull apart, which then creates more breakage. You see where I'm going here? That's why you don't want to keep your protective styles in too long, but you also want to make sure you're moisturizing. My go-to, especially for this, I have Miracle Knots in, so everything's 100% human hair. I like to go in with the pink Scala. It looks like this. I'll insert like a little clip here. It's the pink Scala, lightweight, so it's not too heavy. It's not gonna sit on the hair and create more buildup, but it's just light enough and has enough slip to where you can emulsify it in your hands, run it through the ends, and then go on about your day. Did you know you can do that with regular box braids, twists? I mean, even if you have a sew-in and you want to put just a little something where the track meets the braids, you can do that. Make sure you're doing it on hair that's at least 80 to 90% dry, or 100% dry, and then add a little bit of water. When you have like a sew-in, for example, you don't want too much oil or conditioner on the scalp, because that's going to be a breeding ground for fungal growth, which is what causes dandruff. It can also foster bacteria, which makes your hair smell. So I know a lot of people, if you have a sew-in and you go to wash it, or you go into the pool and you think that you dried it, it's not 100% dry, because you got that mildewy old water smell. And that's because, yeah, there's water that's trapped in there, because your hair is gonna hold on to that water, but that's also not proper hair hygiene. So in order for it to not smell, you wanna get rid of that bad smelling bacteria and fungus, which is why I use a clarifier. But we'll talk about that another time. Now, we touched on trims before, and we're gonna get back into that. Trims are essential. So depending on your hair type and the journey that you're going on with your hair care, you might not want to trim it as much. And I know, I've been there. I've had my fair share of bad haircuts, stylish trimming off more than what's needed. And sometimes I'll just get a little scissor happy and go, it's hair, it'll grow back. I cut off like 2 inches, and then when I go to take my hair out and I think my hair is down here, but it's actually up here, it's heartbreaking. But in order for your hair to really thrive, you have to get rid of all those damaged ends. And damage might not look the way that you think it does. A lot of our loose, natural, or a lot of our curly girls know what the ends of your hair should look like, whether it be a nice defined S shape or a really tight coil. But there are some times where you get fairy knots or split ends. And even when you detangle the hair, even though you start from the ends, work your way up, and then you're ready to get that brush back through, it stops. That's your first indication that you need a trim, and you probably need a better trim that you were once doing. So in order for your hair to be nice and healthy and have that same consistency, so when you detangle it, it just slips like butter, you have to trim it. So I've told people before, when I've shown them pictures where it's a lot easier to see when it's blow dried and stretched out, but the ends tend to be a different color, usually a lot lighter and a lot frizzier. So not everybody's hair is gonna do this, but when you blow dry, it should still be smooth, like all the way down. Not flat iron straight, but there should be some cohesive consistency with the texture all throughout that strand. If you see that it's not that way, then ding, 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 it's time for a trim. Either way, trim your hair, trim those ends, and I promise you, that itty bitty little extra inch of length in your hair is not gonna matter if that inch is damaged. That damage will go up the shaft of your hair and eventually get to a point where there's no saving it. I always say, if you want to and you're already on that healthy hair journey, go for the cut. Not big chop, but just cut off all the ends you don't need and keep fostering those ends, because as somebody who does their own hair, it's a lot easier to work with hair that's 100% healthy rather than working with hair that still has a couple inches of damage and you're only doing a little dusting every so often. Last but not least, you want to listen to your hair. Now, a lot of us don't speak hair, and that's kind of where my job is. That's where I fall in. Basically, your hair speaks a certain language and acts and reacts a certain way that a lot of us don't have that training for. So as a professional, there are certain signs that I look for when hair is either over proteinized, over moisturized, needs a bond builder, or just needs some sort of intervention. So that, I feel like we're gonna make that into a video topic for the next one. But let me know down below, what are some weird things that your hair has done in the past or even in the present that makes you go, huh, should I be doing something different? That being said, any hair advice that you get from anyone, including me, you don't want to take it as biblical, like it's not set in stone. What works for my hair might not work for your hair, and that's the same thing even in a family. What works for your mom or your dad or your siblings, even if you have the same parents, same household, same diet, same everything, it's not necessarily the same thing that your hair needs. Everybody's hair is different, so you have to pay attention to what works for your hair. Some people like the grease, like Blue Magic or Dax even. Other people, their hair can't tolerate it. Like me, my hair loves protein, and so does my mom's too. But if you look at my sister's hair, my youngest one, her hair really likes moisture. So even though we have the same parents, the same everything, what works for my hair doesn't always work for her hair, and that's just how it is. This is why learning your hair is probably the most beneficial and best advice I can give in terms of keeping the hair healthy all summer long. With that being said, we're gonna wrap up this video. Healthy hair, all in all, especially during the summer months, isn't about the most expensive product, the most tedious regimen, or even following fads that you've seen on Instagram. Healthy hair during the summer is all about consistency. Keep the scalp clean, keep the hair moisturized, and don't keep those protective styles in too long. Where next, let me know down in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next one where we talk more about how to build a hair care routine based on your lifestyle. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!